Hello Year 10 and welcome to another lesson on music videos, and today we're going to be looking at audience. We're going to be looking at a media theory that you should know a little bit something about because we looked at it when we were doing our fortnight work, and we're going to be using a theory to apply it to Katy Perry's music video Roar. Okay, if you haven't done any work on uses and gratifications theory, then I would suggest to you that you pay particular attention to the work today. Okay, I'm carrying on with the course as normal, the media studies course as normal. Okay, I know that you're not working in a very normal way, but there's so much to go through in the course that it's very, very important that you guys keep up to date with every lesson that I put up on Show My Homework. Okay, it's really important. I don't want any of you falling behind. We made such a brilliant start to the course that I really don't want anyone to fall behind. Anyway, let's move on. So your first task for this lesson is this. What types of use are being described on the right? So I've got 4 different uses: identity, education, entertainment, or interaction. Which one of these definitions applies to which one of these uses? I would like you to write down the use and then write down the correct definition next to it. Pause this video and do that now, please. Okay, so you now should have 4 uses with their correct definitions, or the definitions that you think they are correct. Here are the answers. Identity is seeing a person as someone to identify with, a role model, someone with similar values as your own, or someone to aspire to be like. Education is a way to acquire more information about a topic, a way to seek knowledge or understand something more. Entertainment is media to be enjoyed, maybe as escapism, allowing you to forget about your worries or the mundanity of your own life for a short time. And obviously, interaction is providing a source of conversation between people, allowing people to socialize whilst discussing a media text. Okay, so this links very closely to the uses and gratifications theory, which was developed in the 1970s, 1974 to be exact, by 2 media theorists called Blumler and Katz. Okay, and we looked at uses and gratifications theory in one of our fortnight lessons. And if you didn't do that, I suggest you go back and try and find that lesson and do that as well as this lesson. It's very important that you keep up to date. Anyway, can't keep saying that. So the user has 4 very simple needs: diversion, the need to relax and escape; personal relationships, using the media to fulfill their personal relationships with friends, becoming part of a social group; personal identity, using the media to find out more about ourselves; and surveillance, using the media to find out what is going on around us. Okay, and there are some thinking tasks that I would like you to do right now on this screen. We can see in what ways do fans use this video. And when I say this video, I mean Roar by Katy Perry. It's the one that we've been looking at as we've gone through. A bit of a hint here: it covers 2 of the possible uses mentioned in the theory. And what gratification do they get from it? And to extend your thinking even further, will different audience members have different needs? Okay. What I would like you guys to do is just have a think about that. Spend some time looking at these questions, thinking about the music video that we have been watching, and have a think about what your answers to those are. If you feel like, yes, you want to write those answers down, that's fine. Do that, but you don't necessarily have to, because we're going to be kind of developing our answers to these questions as we go through. Okay, so we are now going to move on. Okay, I would like you to either print out or save This particular slide, and this is slide 3 on the PowerPoint that's on Show My Homework, I would like you to print this particular slide out. This has ROAR in the middle of it, and it's got personal identity, personal relationships, entertainment and diversion, and information and surveillance. And these are the 4 uses of the uses and gratifications theory. And basically what I would like you to do is, as we go through this lesson, and I'm going to be going through each of these different uses, I would like you to be making notes on how it might apply to the video itself. So I'm going to explain each of these different uses, and you are then going to make notes either on a PowerPoint slide on your computer or on paper with using a pen if you printed this off. Or, I mean, if you don't want to print it off, if you want to just separate a page up into 4 different sections, absolutely fine. If you don't have a printer but you want to do that, that's fine too. And what we're going to be doing is making notes on how we go through. But what I'm not going to do is talk to you about Katy Perry's RAW. What I am going to do is talk to you about each of these uses, give you a few ideas about Katy Perry's RAW that I want you to then just develop into some notes. Okay? Right, let's go through and start. We're going to remind ourselves of the 4 strands of uses and gratifications theory, and then I will talk you through some of the ideas that we can bring in to link it to the RAW video. So first of all, personal identity. Finding yourself reflected in text, seeing yourself or aspects of yourself reflected back in the media that you see. Learning behavior and values from text, understanding yourself more through media text, finding media texts that agree with your views, ideologies and values, for example, political or social ideologies, and finding models of behavior, finding ways to behave or act, identifying with someone in the media, their views, their looks, their lifestyle, etc. So, how does this aspect link to Katy Perry and her RAW video? Well, if we think young girls, who I would say this text is aimed at, young females, young women, are the aim, are the target audience for this particular video, we could see that actually the ideology or the value of female empowerment is shown through that, and it's something that we might want to give to young women. Also, models of behavior, finding ways to behave or act. So we see the character that Katy Perry plays in the video. She's very much concerned about her safety, but then she's starting to be concerned about her looks. She has a very specific look in there, so people might emulate or want to identify with Katy in the fact, especially at the end of the video, she's very strong, she's a strong character, but also she cares about how she looks. She's wearing makeup, she's doing the nails of the elephant, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so there's that aspect of personal identity there. We then have personal relationships, which means using the media for emotional interaction, gaining insight into circumstances of others, social empathy, identifying with others and gaining a sense of belonging, finding a reason or topic of conversation or social interaction, having a substitute for real-life companionship, helping to carry out social roles, and enabling one to connect with family, friends and society. Now, what we have in the Katy Perry video is a narrative, a clear story that is being told about a woman who crash lands in a jungle and looks to seek strength with being with the man, but when the man gets eaten up, she then becomes strong and connects with her surroundings and becomes kind of a queen of the jungle figure towards the end. What we can see here is that we have emotional interaction with this character. We feel worried for her at the start, and by the end we are pleased, we are happy that she has gained that strength, and that she has gained empowerment and is able to survive the jungle as well as she does. That gives a sense of belonging, and it gives us those people who maybe don't have companionship, they'll feel quite lonely, they feel connected to another human being by seeing this story go through. It might help you connect with your family, friends, and society. So if we're thinking about different audiences, you might think that young men might be able to get their first insight into feminism or female empowerment by watching this video and understanding that, oh yeah, of course, it's not just men that are strong, it's not just men that should be empowered, it is women as well, and that might help that those young men connect with their family, might help them connect with their sisters or their female cousins or their nieces. It might help them connect with their female friends a little bit more. It might help them connect with their girlfriend and connect with society and this ideology of feminism coming through. So this video, although it's just a fluffy piece of pop music, actually might be a way into young men being able to understand the women in their lives a little bit better. That will help with their personal relationships. We then have entertainment and diversion. Now, obviously, I'm saying obviously, but I would say certainly, the music video is very much a form of entertainment. Okay, when we watch music videos, we escape, or we are diverted from our problems. We might be working for a bit. Certainly when we're working from home, it can be quite easy to get quite bored and get diverted, distracted by YouTube videos, and music videos is a big part of that. They're short, they tell a quick story very simply, and certainly with the Katy Perry one, it is very colourful. It's got a kind of a cartoonish aspect to it, which would appeal to children and would entertain them well. The music obviously is quite relaxing. There's an emotional release of seeing the character in the video come through and become able to survive and become strong. It fills time. It certainly has an enjoyment in watching it. It's cartoonish. There's comedy elements to it. The gesture codes and costume codes are very over exaggerated, and certainly there's an element of beauty there. So the people and the settings are very beautiful to look at. Okay. And so there is a lot to say about the video in terms of its entertainment and its diversionary qualities. And then you have finally information, surveillance, and education. Now, I would say that actually this one has less to say about it than any of the others. Okay, I would say that music videos, and particularly this music video, isn't giving us a big world view. We don't really understand as much about the world that we live in from this video. However, we could say that it's an introduction to a feminist viewpoint. We could say possibly that we might learn something, a little bit of something about survival or about the natural world from this video. But I would say from a very early point of view. Okay, the video introduces these ideas rather than gives us lots of information. It wouldn't deepen anyone's real understanding of these issues of feminism or survival or living in the natural world just by watching this video. Okay, there are a few things to say about it for information, surveillance, and education, but not as much as, say, personal identity, relationships, or entertainment. Okay, so I've just gone through the 4 strands of use in Gratz, and I have gone through how this music video meet those needs, how the audience might use the video to meet those needs. Okay, it's part of component B, component 2. It's section B, and we're going to be looking at we're now looking at audiences here. How media forms target, reach, and audience, address audiences, how audience interpret and respond, and how members of the audience become producers themselves. Okay, here are two sample questions that I would like you to choose from. Okay, we have looked at a lot of stuff on representation in the previous lessons, and we've just this lesson looked at audience uses. So I would like you to choose one of these questions, and I would like you to spend 20 minutes, I'll give you a little bit of leeway, between 20 and 30 minutes planning and writing your response to this question. Okay, full paragraphs, full sentences, in as much detail as you can do. It's going to require some effort and hard work to do this, but believe me, getting used to answering sample exam questions is the way that we study GCSE media studies. Okay, so we've got two questions. You can choose one of these. Representation. Music videos reinforce stereotypes of gender. How far is this true of the music video that we've studied? Well, we've studied Katy Perry's Roar. In your response, you must explore representations of gender and the music video that you studied. Refer to relevant media context, such as social or cultural. So here you might want to talk about the idea of feminism. You might want to talk about the Me Too movement. You might want to talk about Katy Perry breaking up from her husband, Russell Brand, and then this music video and the songs and the message that the video gives is that I don't need a man to survive, I don't need a man to be strong, that kind of thing. Consider whether you agree or disagree with the statement. That's representation. And audience uses. Explore how audiences use the music video that you've studied to fulfill your needs. You must refer to use and gratifications theory in your response. You must discuss different audiences and how their different needs are met. Now, you will notice that the key words here in both of these is must. You must do this. When an exam question is saying you must do this, to not do that is shooting yourself in your foot. It is saying to the audience, to the examiner, I'm not going to answer the question the way you want me to answer it, and that is a very stupid thing to do. So if the exam question says you must, then you must at least attempt that. Okay? So it's very, very important that you do these things where it says you must. Okay? And yeah, so give yourselves between 20 and 30 minutes now to answer these questions, and you will then, and then that will be the lesson over with. That's it from me. You have this time to answer these questions. I hope you are all well, you're staying safe. I do miss you very, very much. I do enjoy our lessons together, guys, and I hope that everybody is okay. Good luck with these questions, and I will speak to you in our next lesson.